Groove City.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Ari.
And I'm Rich Furniss, and welcome to another episode of Groove City.
Today we are here with the incredible dynamic production and DJ duo, Zach and Wyatt of Decimel.
Woo! Thank you guys for being on.
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys.
All right, so, we started diving into some of this before, but we wanted to save it for, when the cameras were rolling and everything. You guys recently changed your name. You guys want to talk about why you changed the name and kind of how the new name change came about?
Yeah, sure. You want to take this one on?
Yeah, so we were originally, when we started DJing, we were Whizzing Wiley. It was part of Wiley was Zach's name.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can go farther back.
Yeah. His his family name, and Wizzy was was a nickname of mine from
college.
high school and college. And as we started, developing our sound and getting a little more familiar with what we wanted to do with the brand, Whizzing Wiley wasn't necessarily we didn't really feel like it was an appropriate name for what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Represent what we wanted to do, didn't represent our sound. So it took a long time and a lot of thinking, a lot of back and forth, but we finally landed on Decimel.
Yeah, which honestly, we figured it would be like a quick thing, we're either working on music one night or out one night and we'd be like, oh, it'll just come to us.
Yeah.
Not the case.
The name is the hardest part, man. It can be.
We were talking to our manager and she was like, are you guys gonna figure this out soon? And we're like, we have no idea. It took us 2 months just to come up with that. Yeah. And it came down to 2 names. Decimel was just something we said to each other one night. We had this shared note, but we were both sitting on his couch watching Rick and Morty or something, and then came up with that. And then the other ones, both of us really anime or Star Wars and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, what if we kind of just use a name from that? So Kaneda was the other one we were working with.
That's cool. I like that too, actually.
Yeah, we like that one.
We're gonna keep that one on the back burner for something else.
Side project
for the solo project.
Yeah, for the solo. Once we hate each other,
it's inevitable.
It's inevitable at this point. But we're really happy with the name. I think it really fits with our sound, and it's honestly motivated us to really kind of go balls to the wall with production and start doing stuff we didn't do before. So it's cool.
I think a name change can be a good refresh too for you to go into more of the genres that you want to, take different risks that maybe you didn't with the other one, and home in your brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And I think with Wizzy and Wiley too, we were kind of just putting out everything that we had. And it wasn't, not all of it was good necessarily, but I feel like we kind of did need that because we were able to kind of go through everything, learn how to do different things for different genres of music, and then through that kind of find out what you really hone in on, what speaks to you.
Yeah, and I think subconsciously when it came to town buyers and getting booked, and when they saw Wizzy and Wiley, I think there was some sort of, maybe that was just us thinking about that, but I thought that they would maybe get turned off by it or seem to, fratty or what have you.
I mean, the name can play a big factor. Yeah. I mean, it's a first impression, right? So I think people can absolutely have that type of, misconception. I mean, my name before I went as Rich Furniss was Mop Top. And when you think of Mop Top, it sounds goofy as fuck, though, in the same sense. People are like, oh, what does this guy do? Now I'm making more serious house music, and it doesn't fit that.
Yeah.
I mean, Mop Top was fire, though. I used to, in college, I had hair like this.
Fit you anymore.
No, but back then, I was throw it out. Crazy. So I feel that.
Definitely could see it helping narrow the vision. I'm curious, have you guys faced any challenges with rebranding and kind of, meeting the same talent buyers now as a different name, or what that's sort of been like?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think, a lot of it, we used to do kind of on our own, and now we have representation, which is nice. And so we kind of worked on everything with them. But, a lot of the contacts that we had when we were, looking for shows or anything like that, they were used to hearing us as Wizzy and Wiley, and they knew that we, had a crowd that would come for that. So once we were like, hey, we're actually going to go by Decimel, they're like, oh, what's going on? And
so be able to bring the same
exactly. But I think we've done a pretty good job on keeping momentum on that. But definitely, we have felt some pains regarding it. But things are starting to pick up, which feels nice.
Yeah, short-term pains for long-term.
Yeah, there's a little confusion with people oh, you guys are Wizzy and Wiley, right? No, we've actually changed our name and so on and so forth. But
I didn't realize when I first saw the your new name on a flyer that it was you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like on our socials and like SoundCloud, we had to put, Decimel, like formerly Wizzy Wiley and sort of thing.
Which we should probably, maybe one more month of that.
Maybe we can keep it, but yeah, there's definitely been a little adjustment. But yeah, with the new representation at Elevate, they've sort of helped us with a lot with the branding and sort of getting that name out there to talent buyers and people in the industry. So it's definitely helped.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to kind of bring us back a little bit. Did you guys start DJing and producing together, or was it kind of a separate journey that you guys took at separate times?
It's kind of separate. I mean, we met when we were like 15 years old.
I remember here. I remember
been a long time.
that.
That's right around when we both started DJing too.
Yeah. And I remember we were both like, I was like cleaning boats in Nantucket for a month over the summer once, just like pay for a little like rental room with my boys.
Nice.
And it was just debaucherous, but
I can imagine.
actually, the only thing I brought with me was like a DDJ SZ, and I was just like any party I could play, I would just be like, oh, like come on, like
I got the decks, baby, let's go.
That's all you need.
And
at that stage.
I remember like I hadn't seen him in a minute, and I think we were 19, 20, and he comes in, he's like, oh, dude, I have that, and I was like, okay, cool, you want to hop on? And so we did that, and then another few years went by, and over quarantine, we ended up bumping into each other in Florida and just started to DJ together.
Sick.
So
it's kind of organic. It was like, hey, this makes sense.
And it was like we would still do our own stuff, but then it came down to like once we had to like travel to other places, it was like, I'd kind of rather go with my boy.
Facts.
Like,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we kind of realized like, we have a lot more in common than we realized.
Yeah.
And then we, would drive down to Miami and go to Space, and then we're like, well, okay, now we're really vibing. Let's do this. And then just sort of evolved from there, really.
Yeah, so the DJing kind of came first, and then what made you guys decide to kind of make the step into production?
Yeah, I mean, I had always kind of toyed around with it. My brother had a machine growing up.
Okay, fire.
And so I remember like I would go visit him when he was in college, and we would mess around with it for a weekend, and then I just wouldn't have access to anything like that after. And so I think the first thing I got on my computer was Logic.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, I like this. I want to see where I can go with this. And then I ended up bumping into a buddy in Miami who showed me this out there DAW called Studio One.
Oh, yeah.
Which not a lot of people use. And rarely I'll meet someone. All my friends make fun of me for using it, but
it's a dope DAW.
You're still using Studio
I still
One?
use because I've tried switching. I'll have like Ascania master a lot of my stuff, and like he'll be like, "Oh, are you sending me a project file?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm sending you stems,
baby."
Like, dude, like just please like switch over. I'm like, maybe sometime.
But I feel like each DAW is designed for different brains. You know what I mean? Different ways of looking at it.
Yeah.
Like, so I see it like, and I know certain people were insane in Studio One versus Logic, or I know some people who were still producing in Pro Tools. You know what I mean? It's like whatever makes sense for your brain.
And it's also like, I think lots of people talk about flow state, and if I'm trying to use a DAW that like I don't know how to do something immediately, like subconsciously, then it really messes with the full
Creative
song.
flow.
And like if I can just do it on Studio One, like he'll tell you like sometimes he'll just go off and won't talk for a good 45 minutes. And then he's like, all right, dude, like can I sit down now? Like what's going on here?
I'm in the flow, baby. Let it flow.
My journey was a little bit different. So I took a class in Ableton probably like 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
I did that, and then kind of realized that because of my ADD or whatever what have you, I have a real hard time sitting down by myself and just locking in.
Yeah.
So having him around has made it really easy to feed off each other and just vibe.
Because I'll lock the fuck in. I'll tell you that.
Again, I was learning on Ableton, and he's using Studio One, so I succumbed, and I was like, you know what, we're gonna do Studio One, and I've actually come to love it.
Hell yeah.
So,
and I mean it's all the same plugins.
It's all the same stuff.
It's all the same stuff.
And people are like, I feel like DAW snobs, and ultimately it's whatever's going to get your ideas out on paper as quickly as possible, which you feel comfortable with. And honestly too, with like the whole like having a production partner, I think it's the same thing as like having somebody who you're doing a collab with, right? It kind of like holds you accountable. It's like going to work out with a friend.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like, all right, cool, we're going to push each other to keep getting better. Oh, we got to get this song out. What's the due date? Like however you can have, and I think some people self-motivate. I am not one of them. I'll get a song to a certain point, and then I'll have a collab with somebody. This is why I collab so much, because like, all right, cool, I got to get it done, so I'm not letting the other person down, you know? All right, cool, I got to put that date in the calendar because I need to have at least a mix of this finished.
Yeah, and I think we do that with each other. Like we have usually Wednesdays at like 6:30. we're like, okay, every single Wednesday, 6:30, we're gonna like sit down and try to make something. Or we'll come in like, earlier in the week, we'll have like inspo from something else. We'll go to a show, or like he'll send me like random songs from the 70s and be like, dude, this riff is sick.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
So it's like, it always happens like that. But, I think like, if you're able to get good inspo, I think we like 90s hip hop a lot. So like a good 909 kit, just like I love that.
Do you feel like you guys build a lot of your stuff from like inspo lists and like other playlists and stuff?
I think a lot of it definitely comes from like inspiration, like a song, like you hear like a sample, like a bass line, like, oh, we can build off that. Like it comes from one element, and then you build it around that element that you love and that you really like are trying to emulate.
Yeah, I think especially with our newest release that just came out on Friday. I'm a massive Star Wars nerd.
Give us a plug. What's the name of the track?
It's called R2D2.
Sweet.
Okay.
We put it out on our label, imprint Imperfect Records. And it kind of just like, we really like that kind of Beltran sound, like, and like heavy snare. And and I was like, dude, I think if we like sampled the beat boops from R2D2, this could be pretty sick. So
Did you guys like pitch them and stuff, or what'd you do with the beat boops?
Oh, everything. Like we use them in like a bunch of different areas, but we also like, the one scary part is like, okay, before one drop, I literally just sampled like the scream in the hallway from episode 2 or 3.
Okay.
And like,
out here.
and it's just like a hilarious like scene. But I put that before it dropped, and I remember I didn't tell him, and I was like, dude, listen to this. And then I play it, and it drops, and he looks at me, he's like, oh yeah, like that's the one.
R2D2 going, what?
And
I know exactly what you're saying. Yes.
And we threw in a few other ones. But I think it just kind of came down to it's just really fun. And like we have like a little series we're doing with just robots from science fiction movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like I'm looking to do something with David from Prometheus, which actually did
That'd be
already.
cool.
That's in the works.
I think Tars is going to be the next one.
Oh, fire.
And like I think we got to.
I need to hear these. You guys send
I'll
these
send
to
it
me.
over. And then
R2D2 is a pretty gritty one.
Yeah, it's pretty gritty. Yeah.
Yeah, but we like it.
This is some of the most out there inspiration I've ever heard of. This is amazing.
But that's the thing though. It's like you gotta do what you love.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing. Like a lot of producers, like who takes classes here, and people that I know are like, where do I start? How do I get a start? And I think everyone's like, well, I don't want to just like make playlists of other stuff or find inspiration from outside because I feel like I'm copying. It's like, you're not copying. I think with music, you pull inspiration from different ways, and it's how you put your spin on it. And something as silly or as, inspiring as robot sounds, how do you manipulate that to make it totally unique and different? Like I have so many different inspo lists of, songs or even like movies that I like or soundtracks and stuff or sound effects. I'm like, all right, cool. What can I do with that? And setting up a session where like, all right, cool, I'm going to try something with this one thing on this day. And how you said you guys kind of like create these inspo days. I think that's the best way for people to like get over the hump of just like, let me just hop in and try this.
It's just like looking inward and being like, what do I really like? And then trying to find ways to integrate that into your music and your productions and your DJ
And I think
sets.
also like, you find something you like, put it through a sampler, put it on your keyboard and just start messing around
with it.
Like,
how weird can I make this?
And like we talk about this all the time. One guy that I really loved, like when I first started getting into this kind of music, was Steve Darko, who and like I had the opportunity to meet him at Silo like last year, the year before or something. And that guy, I thought his sound design was absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
Like, some of his tracks are ridiculous. And I always wanted to like try to implement some of that into this, but sometimes it gets like a little too like, okay, it's 4 a.m., it's a dark basement, like that's kind of the vibe I like sometimes. He has to reel me back a little bit, but I'll get it eventually.
Where see what you can get away with.
Yeah.
Where would you guys put like the sound of the new project as far as like, how would you label it or how would you describe it?
Sure. I mean,
it's like a crossover. I mean, what we really like is like groovy, fat bass lines that kind of get you in the pocket, going back and forth,
like a Marco Carollo,
like
Dice,
that kind of stuff. But like at the same time, we mix in a little bit like a disco element at some points, and it's kind of all like it can be. It's kind of hard to define, but it's within that realm.
Yeah. I would say you're pulling different pieces. You said the disco records, so maybe some of the grooves from the disco, some of the darker stuff with kind of like the robot sounds and stuff. I can kind of see, and ultimately, I love that because it feels like it's melding both of your passions, right? Both of your interests, which is why group producer projects can be so dope because you can kind of have that fusion.
Agreed.
And I think you go ahead.
Yeah. So, sorry. But I think, overarching, I still think it's kind of within that tech house, larger genre, but like deep tech. And I'd say like, we kind of just like taking influences from like all of these little different subgenres and pockets, and like taking little things that we like a heavy snare from like a Beltran track, right? Or like the synths from a Josh Baker track. Like, I think like you can kind of meld them and kind of find something that's in the middle that you really love.
Yeah.
But definitely those thick, fat bass lines, a lot of triple kicks. Like we love that kind of stuff.
Just getting people moving side to side. Like
yes.
really,
side,
like
side to side
really
movement.
Yeah.
Sick. Well, I want to kind of take a step away from the production and talk about, you guys have been doing a lot of events throughout New York and beyond. And you've kind of built like a really nice following. How did you guys go about first throwing your first events, and how have you guys kind of gone about building your following?
Sure. I think it started off, my friend Nana and I started a company called Zero Gravity when I first moved back to New York, and it was basically just based off of, we wanted to throw events for music we really loved, and a lot of that happened to be like up and coming artists that we knew we could get for, maybe a lower amount than, going balls to the wall and getting like some expensive DJ. Yeah. So we started doing that, and then, we started kind of gaining a lot of people coming. And we're able to do them at some pretty cool venues around New York. And we did like a New Year's show in Miami, and we were able to bring in a lot of cool people for that. So it kind of started there. And, you're really like building up that contact list. You're creating a community. And then, we had played a lot of our own events initially. And then Wyatt and I were like, I feel like, now it's kind of time. We don't want to play these events anymore. Like we're putting these events on. I don't really want to play them anymore. But like, let's just put on like our own DJ events. Where it's instead of like an event group, it's more so just about like the DJs and the other artists we can bring on, and just kind of have like friends and family nights.
Sure. Yeah.
And so we tend to do that with a lot of our friends around here. Which just turns into a blast, honestly.
Yeah, I like a lot of the promoters in New York, they'll be like, hey, I'll give you X amount of money to just fill the night. You guys can, book all the artists, brand it, do whatever. And so we were doing a lot of that. And then when Zach was living in Boston, I had been DJing here for a couple of years, not as seriously as we are now, but then once he got here, I had some contacts, and obviously he was building Zero Gravity, and it sort of just meshed together. And so it was just a whole combination of things that sort of came together really well, especially with our different networks of people too.
I was gonna say, seeing those two kind of networks collide to build something.
And now I think it's really essential to, like you said, to have contact lists that you can send out to people about your parties or whatever's going on. It's important to have that community, whether it be digitally or IRL. So
I think the big takeaway is the community. You know what I mean? Like, I think when you talk about music and DJing and anything within the culture of music, it comes into community.
Yeah.
What type of community do you build, and what do people from that community expect? Like, what type of attributes do you guys bring that people are drawn to? You know?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So if somebody were coming to one of your parties, what would you say is like describing words? If somebody were to come see you guys DJ, or, to come to one of the events, like how would you guys describe it?
I think in terms of the music, like what at least I want to get out of it, and I imagine you do too, is we like to like try to educate as best as possible. Like you're going to come, you're going to dance, but you're probably not going to hear things that you're familiar with a lot of the times.
Shazam's up in the crowd.
Yeah. The secret Shazam.
But it's also like, it's fun because like, especially we have a lot of music that like we get in arguments about this all the time, where it's like, oh, we should put this out. I'm like, nah, this is staying on the USB. So like if we have a show, it's just something cool we can throw in,
A little white label.
Yeah, exactly.
You might see us, arguing up on the booth too, like, don't play that now. No, like it's
save it.
But that's the only time we ever argue that, and he turns the booth monitor up so high.
I always wear my earplugs, and he never does underneath.
I got better hearing than you. Know that.
But I guess essentially, it's good vibes. Inclusivity, just everyone just supposed to be happy, dancing.
Like
Everyone
that journey too.
Everyone
like
dance, yeah.
Yeah, like I think one thing we struggled with initially was, we kind of wanted to like play to the crowd really heavy.
Yeah.
And now like people tend to come to our shows for like what we play, which
that's
is
awesome.
Which
that's
is
where
great.
you want to be.
And like, we'll kind of just, start at like 124 sometimes, go all the way up to like 140 and then come back down and, just a little flow.
Yeah.
But I think that's a really interesting point is a lot of DJs want to be able to go out and play what they want to play, right? And I think that's a hard thing because you have to build the crowd for it. So for any DJ who, is in the scene maybe now, who's like playing a lot of parties, who feels like they really have to cater to the crowd, how do you get to the point where people are just coming for your music? Because I think that's kind of like black hat and a lot of people don't know.
That takes time. I think I think we had put ourselves in a little bit of a bucket at first. And again, like, especially with the name change and, just kind of everything built up to that point where we really, once we were able to have people come for what we were playing, we really wanted to kind of own that. And then I think that led to also the change of the name a lot as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, we have like one of our very good friends, Shaq, like we love going to his sets because he takes you on a journey, or like going to a Ben UFO or like, I think with DJing, like if you go and it's just like monotonous kind of, like sometimes I'll some of my favorite producers, I'll go to a set and it's like, I could have just listened to this on Spotify, But like you go to a selector's set.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, the amount of time that they take to really curate. And like,
well, I think that's like the separation between a producer DJ and a DJ producer.
Yeah.
And I think you notice like people who start DJing first, which it seems like you guys really did, are more of selectors and maybe want to take people on more of a journey versus a producer DJ who kind of just is like, all right, cool, this is what I'm known for. I'm gonna play this.
It's also like dependent on the venue too, right? Like we were playing in Manhattan a lot when we first got started, and obviously that certain sound and certain venues doesn't necessarily fit. So over time, we just started playing Brooklyn more and getting deeper into the correct venues that fit our style more.
Yeah, for you.
And I just think it is really venue heavy, right? Like you're going to be playing, if you're going to be playing at like, somewhere in Manhattan at like a gospel, you got to know what to play there. Or if you're going to be playing like Signal in Brooklyn, you got to know what to play there because they're going to attract different crowds, right? Whether they're coming for you or not. So it's very venue dependent in my mind.
I think when it comes here for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if we've been booked like out like we just played in London recently, like we tend to just get really hyped up and you're like, we're gonna play some UKG, just like see if we can mix it up. We had a great set there; it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Did you end up playing a bunch of UKG?
Oh yeah. It was like it was funny. Like it was that same kind of thing where we were opening for them, so we kind of started like pretty chill.
Yeah.
Middle of the set, we were like, okay, let's pump it up a little bit. Played some UKG and then kind of tapered it off, like getting ready for them.
One thing that I thought was funny was like we played a couple like, and Shaq, our buddy Shaq told me this. And I was like, what genre is this? It's like Ossible and those. It's like electro funk.
Yeah.
This new, and we played a couple of songs that fit that genre, and a couple of guys after the set were like, what was that? What was that? Like they didn't. So I guess it hasn't reached them yet, or I don't know. But
and the energy they have out there is crazy because it's like. A lot of like we go out when we're 21. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you got a fake ID when you're young, but
I'll neither deny or confirm.
But I think like one cool thing about London, and I think a lot of European countries in general, the drinking age is lower, so a lot of younger people are going to clubs.
Yeah.
And so they have this appreciation for the music that I think it took us a long time to get to that appreciation.
Yeah.
For specific genres, and like, I mean, you look at the UK right now, like everybody coming out of there is insane.
Yeah.
And the sound that they have is like very unique, and like now it's like completely taken over the US.
Yeah. I think they also help cultivate their artists in a different way that we don't necessarily, which I think leads to that,
For sure. But yeah, I don't know, like, you just see these like 18-year-old kids, you're like, oh yeah, like unreal set, mate. Like that was great. Like I wish I could like be back where
at 18, I wasn't appreciating.
Yeah, not at all. I was listening to like
because you couldn't experience it in the realm where it was meant to be experienced.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
So we got a set that you guys are about to drop. Do you have any IDs? Anything? What can we expect from this DJ set that you guys are about to drop?
Yeah. We've got a couple IDs. We'll throw in there. It's definitely going to be. We like doing stuff off the cuff. So we have a few tracks we chose, and then everything else, we're just going to throw it
organically, baby.
There's one song in there that was from we were ripping it on July 4th weekend in the car driving around. That we loved, so we had to put it in there.
Yeah. We had that on repeat for like
a solid hour.
That. Yeah. Like my girlfriend's in the back and she's like, does this need to go on again? And we look back.
Yes, absolutely.
One more time. We'll put that in there.
Yeah.
Where can guys find you online? How can people discover you?
Sure. Yeah. You can find us on Instagram, Decimel OFC. So of course, or official. Sorry.
Not of course.
Not of course. That's just.
But of course.
But of course.
Of course. And then on Spotify under Decimel. And if you want to check out our older stuff, feel free to go to Wizzy and Wally as well.
Quality
it's still under
It's
Wizzy and
still
Wally?
up. We're not taking it down. It's still
it's part of the heritage, baby.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we signed a couple of tracks with Quincy.
Yeah.
Well, we're super excited for you guys to hop into the DJ set. Make sure you guys check the video in the playlist below. It should play right after this for their DJ set. I appreciate you guys hopping on, being part of this interview. I'm Rich Furniss.
I'm Ari.
Peace out.